3 years ago, I was an alcoholic. I had no money. I was in credit card debt. My life was spiraling. One morning, I was laying on the floor, almost crying because I was so hungover and so mentally distraught. And I asked myself, like, what do I want? What do I really want out of this life? And it always came back to, I want someone to love unconditionally and have that return to me. I want to have a family, and I want to share my happiness with someone. And that's what it always came back to. And I thought to myself in that moment, the audacity, well, why don't I have that? Why don't I have that? And I started to do a raw, honest evaluation of my life on that floor. And my floor was actually cement. I did have a carpet, but it was not comfortable. And I did a raw evaluation of my life. For the first time, I was genuinely honest with myself. And I was like, well, why don't I have this love that I want so bad? Well, because I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve it at all, dude. I was a piece of shit. I treated myself like shit. I treated others like shit. My family had isolated me. And we don't get the love that we want. We get the love that we deserve, right? And at the moment, I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that from anyone. And so that day, I remember I cried for a little bit longer. And the next day, I set out on a mission. I said, I'm never going to drink again. I'm never going to drink. I'm never going to let that be the reason. I'm going to take care of myself mentally. Started going to therapy. I'm going to work to get out of this debt and work hard so I can bring something of value to the table. So I started to build this life that I thought that I would deserve, that love that I wanted so bad. And I remember after like a year of being sober and paying off my debt and starting to become something, or be proud of myself again, I still didn't have it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why don't I have this love? Like, I'm pissed off. Like, I got sober, I did the thing. And I just remember telling myself, like, be patient, stay the course. Like, and at that point, I didn't really need anyone else. I yearned for that love still, but I finally began to love myself. I loved myself so much that I didn't really need anyone else. And that's about a year and a half into my sobriety is when I met my fiance. And it all made sense. I said, this was what I was doing it for. When I set out on this mission 2 years ago to get sober, I didn't know who I was doing it for. I was doing it for myself, but I didn't know who I was doing it for or what future family existed out there. And I don't say this because, I have all these things now. I have a beautiful fiance. Really, I don't have all these things. I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful family who I love. I've received love back, and I'm so proud of myself. And that's how I have my confidence. I don't get my confidence from the way that I look. That I have nothing to do with that. That was my mom and my dad. And I draw my confidence from the fact that I love myself because I know that I love unconditionally. I'm proud of myself for being able, just choked on a sesame seed, for being able to put down something that was hurting my life. And so I say this because if you're asking yourself, why don't I have this love that I want so bad, it's because you don't deserve it. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm saying you don't attract the love that you want. You attract the love that you deserve. And if you don't have the love you want, it's because you don't deserve it. And so that only means build a life for yourself. Become a version of yourself that is so great, that you are so proud of, that you attract the love that you want, that you finally deserve. And that being said, everyone's journey with alcohol is different. But have an honest evaluation with yourself. That could be something that's hindering your life. And if it's not, then I'm happy for you. But sometimes you got to really ask yourself, am I getting the love that I want, or am I getting the love that I deserve? This bagel's good as fuck.